Hello, my friend. You asked me to talk a bit more about panic attacks and how to deal with them or even prevent them. Well, they happen to very many people. They're a common thing. They happen when you're out of your safety zone and your body goes into a kind of state of shock with high adrenaline, your heart beating too fast, over breathing. Panic is when you feel out of touch with your own reality and unable momentarily to deal with the situation you find yourself in. So it happens often in situations where people have become frightened that they can't cope. So if they're phobic about something, so being agoraphobic, i.e. being afraid of going into certain open spaces, or claustrophobic, sitting in the underground, say, if that has become an issue, you will often have panic attacks in those situations, but it can happen really in any kind of situation that triggers that feeling of losing your capacity to be in charge, to know what to do, to resolve any problems, and to be comfortable in yourself and confident in yourself. So there we have it. What you need to do existentially is to find that comfort again. So when you find yourself having a panic attack, instead of telling yourself off or making it worse by fearing that there's something desperately wrong with you or that you're going crazy, just recognize what's going on. Recognize how you're over breathing, which means also that your breath is very short. Realize you're out of touch with all of your senses. I think that is absolutely key in the situation. And so you work with your senses. First of all, you might give yourself a hug to comfort yourself and find back the center in yourself, in your body. You might hold your own hands and rub them together and really get a feeling for how you can give yourself that support and hold yourself strong again in the situation. If you are feeling a bit faint, you may also want to get back to a sense of a good vision, a vision that will support you. So you might want to close your eyes, rock a bit to make yourself a bit more comfortable, and imagine a place where you're comfortable and where you can relax. Imagine a relaxing space and moment. And this is something you can work on. You can build it up for yourself. What do you think of? When you need to find a safe space, what do you think of? And how do you give yourself contact with that? With the over breathing, of course, learning to breathe deeply, sighing, and taking a deep breath in and making it go all the way into the abdomen rather than keeping it up high in the chest is very important. And you can help that too by making the breathing more comfortable. Breathing into your hands really helps. So you're using your hands for all of this, comforting yourself, the vision, and also the breathing, because they used to say breathe into a paper bag so that you can get the carbon dioxide that you're over breathing out back into your blood to balance the oxygen levels out. But actually, if you do it with your hands, then it's not so exaggerated. You don't have to do it for very long, but it can be very comforting. And then the trick is also to smell your own hands and to get back with that animal comfort of knowing you're your friend and you trust your own body. So you create that comfort, that familiarity for yourself. And it also feels like protection. I quite like to do that when I go to sleep as well. Put my hand over my nose. It creates a kind of separate universe, a place of comfort. The smell is very important because when you start focusing on what do you smell, what do you see, and what do you hear as well. So you can do that by cupping your ears and you start to hear yourself in a different way. And again, familiarize yourself more with who you are and what you hear in yourself. And of course, if you have favorite music, that works really well. So plug that music into your ears and rock to it and move to it whilst thinking of good visions and smelling good smells and reassuring yourself with your touch as well. All of that will help you. So the main thing is, if you want to prevent it, it's all about keeping all your senses going in a strong way and not withdrawing and not getting to a space where you're kind of dissociating so much from your environment that your senses stop reassuring you, as it were, that you start being disconnected. This may also happen because you're hypoglycemic, you haven't been eating very much. So if you have these panic attacks, especially on transport or something, carry around with you some little sweets you can put in your mouth and suck on. That also helps with the flavor and with the smell and with the activity that gets you back in your comfort zone. It's all about building that back up. But as I was saying, you really should try to create a much stronger sense of confidence in your body. And one thing that is scientifically proven to help is people who run regularly. They won't have as many panic attacks, probably also because they get better at breathing, and they get better at breathing really deeply. They also build confidence in their body as purposeful in the world. And that is, in my experience, what people lose in a panic attack. They get them when they lost their sense of confident purpose in the world. So practicing confident purpose by going on little trips or little runs and exploring things and getting this feeling of adventure rather than this feeling of being lost out in the world, that's really important. It's about becoming more determined and more self-assured and more courageous and more adventurous and much more in tune with yourself, and therefore comfortable and confident in being in tune with the world around you as well. So there's lots of things you can do, but it's all about looking after yourself, making yourself feel vital, healthy, caring for yourself, loving yourself, and not allowing your life, other people, your work, or stress, or the environment to get the better of you. Build yourself up. If you're having panic attacks, you need to care for yourself and figure out what works for you. Because all these things I've said are just tricks that some people I've worked with have used, but everybody ends up doing something different. Some people count to 10. Some people tap themselves. I mean, there are hundreds of things people do, but you need to figure out what calms you and what puts you back in touch with your body in a confident, calm, and peaceful way. And I wish you real success with that, my friend. Take really good care of yourself. You need to.